So what percentage of your time can I have? And then like if an athlete says you could have 30 minutes on Friday, it's like, I'll take it. But now we have to manage our expectations. Like, what can I do with 30 minutes of your time? That's all you're going to give me. We'll start there though, right? So the goal is to take what time they're willing to give me, try and find the biggest rock, the most bang for your buck, hip internal rotation, lumbar spine side. Like, what's the thing that's going to make them realize, oh, wow, there's something here. This is important. And then allow them to slowly ask for more time over time. Like when they realize, oh wow, just 30 minutes on Friday makes my back feel so much better. My knee already feels better. What would happen if I actually took more of Hunter's advice? So I kind of just instead of trying to force feed, I just kind of try this. Let's see how this goes. And every single time, the person eventually says, like, okay, let's spend a little more time on this. If you give them the big rock, they want more. So like even with Sydney, like when I first met her and I brought her through her first FRA, I still approached it like, hey guys, like this is what needs to be done. But I only saw Sydney like once every couple of weeks. Like this is many years ago. And I only saw her once every couple of weeks, so I didn't have much time with her. When I would ask her, "Are you doing the homework?" It was like, I got a couple of things in this week, but I didn't do it every day. You know, cars, whatever else." And then year two, she comes in and she goes, and she says this. She goes, "I want you to talk to me like I've never heard this before. I'm ready to take this more seriously. I know this is what I need. And she's talking about her team, like we know this is what I need. Just yeah, 100%. And it's like I want to start back at square one as if this is the first assessment. Just talk to me like I haven't heard this stuff before. I want to understand it. I want to move forward. So there's already more buy-in. Like I gave her a little bit the season before, and it was listened to a little bit, and then already from that little bit there was noticeable improvement. So it's like, all right, now let's take this seriously. And then it turned into, now I'm seeing you every single week. It's not every couple of weeks, but now I'm seeing you every single week. And then more time goes by and I see Sydney in her off season. And at the end of this off season, which is I think year 2 or year 3, she goes, well, our races start next week and I have to start running. So this is technically starting the in season. So off season's ending this week. Normally we just take a photo, see you next year, have a good one, goodbye. And she goes, is it okay if I come in next week? Basically saying like, I actually want this included in my in season as well. So at first it was just like every couple of weeks, then it was every single week in the off season. Then it grew into, I want to train this every single week in the off season and I want to do it in the in season. And now after the Olympics this year, she's like, I want to aim for 3 times a week. We'll at least get 2, but let's put on the calendar 3 and we'll reorganize. So going back to the story, it's like, I don't try and tell people what to do. I just say, what are you willing to give me? And then we kind of grow from there. Because if you could, with the FRA, identify the biggest rocks and really give that person what they need, almost always it works in such a powerful way where they go, if just that little bit makes me feel so much better, I wonder if I would allocate more of my resources towards that, like what would really happen. So, with Sydney, my relationship has grown so much because she's really recognized the value of this work, that it's no longer just mobility training. She knows that. It's no longer just off-season training. She knows that. This is now a year-round thing. If I was to text her right now and say, did you do your cars this morning? Her response would be, of course, right? So she goes into it. And then another thing, from a buy-in perspective is I don't treat Sydney like an athlete in the sense that like a lot of athletes just kind of get told what to do and their coach tells them what to do. I treat her like a colleague. I treat her like a human who's interested in understanding her body better. And I treat every athlete like this. So I teach them the system, but instead of, and once again, I heard you say this for the first time ever many years ago, but instead of in 2 8-hour days, just in 90-minute chunks, right? Like they get everything just in pieces. And one of my favorite things about Sydney for the last year is she's now coming in with such confidence about how her body works and how this system works and what we're working on. Is like you, I have like 3 whiteboards up in the gym. There's whiteboards on every single wall. And I'm constantly, when I have people come in, when I have athletes come in, when I have a team of people come in, I'm writing, I'm drawing, I'm doing all the, the force length relationships and speed strength graph and all the different things. I have everything up everywhere. And she comes in and she looks at the whiteboard and she's like, you were telling somebody that they weren't getting to the strength training adaptations from an intensity perspective, which is why there's a bunch of dots over here. She goes, and really their volume is too high. So what they need to do is they need to cut their volume down and they need to bring their intensity this way. I was like, oh my goodness, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Champions are champions for a reason, man.
Right. And then the next day she comes in, like a couple days later, she looks at my whiteboard over here and she goes, oh man, you had someone with a bad spine today. Their lumbar spine wasn't moving at all. Cause I have like a segmenting spine drawn out, and then the bottom of it's just a straight line. And she's like, that must have been a real bad lumbar spine. I bet you they learned segmentation today. I was like, oh my goodness, yes. Like that's exactly what we went over. Because she has an interest in understanding this. She's not just here to work out. She's not just showing up, clocking in, clocking out, doing exercises. She wants to understand the why behind it. She asks questions. A turning point a long time ago is when she came to me and she goes, okay, well, now that we're taking this more seriously, like, can you look at my warm up? Like, I know you're in the gym, but this is on the track, but can you look at my track warm up and just see if does this vibe well with how you think a warm up should be done? Like, it's a slow process. This didn't everything I just listed happened over years, not in year one, but it's because I believe what our system does well is effectively finding the big rocks. Find the thing that gets the buy-in, find the thing that's going to move the needle. And there's nothing that does that better than starting with just the assessment and comparing that to the prerequisites of their activities.